Everybody takes every drug every day. Today in America, there's nobody called a healthy person. Everyone has to take some drug or the other from the time you're born. Child born gets 29 vaccinations. 29 vaccinations. And it's estimated that by the age you are 30, you are at least taking 2 tablets. At least. The minimum. That's why I coined a new word and wrote an article called health expectancy. You all have heard of life expectancy. Number of years a newborn child can expect to live. I have a coin called health expectancy. Number of years a newborn child could expect to live without the onslaught of doctors and medicines. And I estimated that is the highest in India. You come to my village, I have a couple of centenarians who have not seen hospitals and doctors. So in India, many of us are alive without taking medicines quite adult age. Nowhere in the world. Japan there are. Because Japan there are least number of doctors and least number of specialists. But Japanese have the best health, they live the longest and they have the least disease. America has the largest number of doctors and the biggest number of specialists, 99% of them specialists, and largest number of hospitals, and they have the least health, lowest longevity and the worst diseases. New Zealand did an experiment. They said every child must go and see the dentist from the time the tooth arises till it dies. Free. 3 times a year. 3. New Zealand is a small country and today New Zealand has the highest dental problem in the world. Because if you go to the dentist every 3 months and he scrapes it, by the time you are about 15, all the enamel is gone. So by the time you are 16, I can't take tea. That advertisement haven't you seen? Tea. You leave your tea. No, I can't leave tea. Then you take this paste. If you put it, immediately it will go. And she will give a paste and you put it and then, tea. 100% false. 100% false. That's why, very interesting, there's a book called Affluent Society. How many of you read that book? Affluent Society. This is written by a great economist called John Kenneth Galbraith, who was an ambassador, American ambassador here a few years. Very, very nice man. He's about 7 feet. The tallest American probably was John Kenneth Galbraith. In the true sense of the word, also was the tallest American. He wrote this book where he says, this was written in 1956, called Affluent Society. He said for advertisement. He says advertisement is not there to tell the public about the product. Advertisement is there to lure you, to make you want that product when you don't need it. See the difference between want and need? Now, supposing I see an advertisement of a shirt. I don't need a shirt. I have a shirt. But when I see that advertisement looks so good that I immediately run and buy a shirt. And this is where the economy works. It's called affluent society. And there is another Nobel laureate economist called Stiglitz. He has written a book. Of the 1%, for the 1%, by the 1%. Have you read that book? You must read that book. This world runs for 1% of human beings, by 1% of human beings, and for 1% of human beings. Can you believe that? 99% of us will have to make do with 1% of the resources. And 1% of the world makes 99% of the resources swallow. Do you know how education changed? All this, due to 3 people. All this medicine, the problem that we are talking about, adverse drug reactions, doctor telling something wrong, medicine being wrong, science being wrong, all because of 3 people. Very rich 3 people in America, D.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, Nelson Rockefeller, were the richest people in 1910 in America. So they came together and said, why do we compete with each other? We'll of course make money, but we want to control the whole world, that we should come together. So they had a consortium of 3 people. They gave $50 million for some very intelligent people like our editor here. And they said, tell us how to control the world. They spent the money and they came with an idea. Control education, you can control the world. This document was kept as a secret document till recently. When RTI, the document has come out. The document says, find out how much does it cost to tell the child in the school and make the child believe that snow is black. Did you understand that? That is what you are taught now in the school. Snow is black. That's called educare. The The authorities want to let the child know what they want the child to know. Have you read the history books? You must read the history books, NCERT. New history, their own history. What the government of the day wants you to believe, that's the history. America also same thing. So they said, we must now tell the child what the child wants to know what we want to know. That is called education. But real education is educere. Educe, E-D-U-C-E, means deliver. The child is an intelligent child when it is born, and you have to get the best out of the child. Now I'll come to science. On the day you are made in your mother's womb, not the day you are born, you have the consciousness of this whole universe. The whole universal consciousness is known to you on the day you are made, because you are made unique. There are no two human beings. No, why two human beings? No two living things having the identical genetic pattern. That supposing you want to be unique, you must know everyone else. Supposing Venkatraman says, I must today go to the meeting with a shirt which nobody should have. He must know what others have got the shirt first. So the child is a genius. It knows everything. Only thing is, you get the best out of that child. That's called education. Swami Vivekananda said, education is a manifestation of the perfection which is already in man. Education is just polishing you. In Sanskrit we say, dagdam, punarapi, punaha, kantam, kantavarnam. Even the gold to shine, you must heat it and beat it. So the child should be polished. And that's all what the teacher should do. But on the contrary, today what we do is, the child is told what the teacher and the officers and the government wants the child to know. So we now tell you what's called science. You know what is science? Science is a golem. Golem, you know golem? Any Malayalis here? Golem. Golem. You know golem? You know the scarecrow? In the buildings and all, they put a ugly figure there so that, enna solradhu? Drishti. Ama drishti. Namba kuda drishti da solluva kannadathile. In the drishti in Hebrew is called the golem. Golem is a figure like that which the Jewish priests, they are called the rabbis, used to take to the king. All the Jewish priests are the priests of the king. Now there's this called the famous golem. The king of that particular country wanted to abolish Jews from that country. So there was a law to be enacted saying that all Jews must leave this country by so and so date. But the priest was the Jew. So the priest went with the golem to the king and said, sir, there's something very bad about your future that I see in this horoscope of yours. The king said, what's happening? The day you abolish the Jews, you will get destroyed. And at that time, he had a small cracker inside that golem, Drishtila. It exploded and the golem got into. So the king got so frightened that Jews are still there. It's called the Prague golem. Have you heard of that? Read that. The golem, Prague golem. Now, two scientists have written about science. Two scientists, two physicists, Colin and Trevor Pinch. These two are physicists who have written how hollow the whole science is. The book is called The Golem, Golem. There's an Indian edition, very cheap, for 75 rupees. You go to the what's that called? What.com is that? There's an Indian.com. Flipkart.com. For 75 rupees, you get the book. You must read. All the journalists must read that. It's called The Golem. There's a beautiful thing in science called the fish net hypothesis. Have you heard of that? Fish net hypothesis. So the ichthyologists, the scientists who study the fish, went to the sea and caught fish. Then came and studied it, measured it with the vernier calipers and all, and then came to one conclusion. All sea fish is bigger than 2 inches. They wrote paper, it became science, fisheries college, they taught it, and everybody believed it. After some years, some other scientists went with another net. They caught fish, and small fish were also caught because their hole was smaller in the net. These people's hole was big, so all the 2 inches fishes went out. So these fellows' fishes were there. So they wrote, all fishes in the sea are also less than 2 inches. So all hypothesis in science is what is called fish net hypothesis. What doesn't come out? It's called fish net. I'll tell you clear science, physics, we'll come to physics. 1907, J. Thomson was the director of the Cavendish Institute in Cambridge, the highest institute those days. He said electrons are particles. Nobel Prize, 1907 Nobel Prize for Physics goes to J. Thomson. 30 years later, his own son, G. Thomson, George Thomson, he said they are waves. He also got the Nobel Prize. See, the father said they are particles, son said they are waves. Then one of their colleagues, Erwin Schrödinger, said they are wavicles. They are both particles and waves. He also got the Nobel Prize. In 1925, Erwin Schrödinger, Werner Heisenberg in the Zurich Polytechnic was a student where Einstein himself was a teacher. And he told Einstein, you're talking through your hat. All that you have said so far is wrong. Can you tell that to a professor who is a Nobel laureate? What happens to Werner Heisenberg? He becomes an outstanding student. You know what that means? Standing outside. He was standing outside physics for 30 years. And 1955, Einstein dies. And 1956, Werner Heisenberg gets the Nobel Prize. What did he say? You can't know what an electron is. That's called the uncertainty principle. He is also right. He is the only right person. Now we have got one of his colleagues, Werner Heisenberg's colleagues, who is still alive, 89 years, who is the present emeritus director of Max Planck Institute, who is the deputy editor for a journal called the Journal of Science of Healing Outcomes. Hans-Peter Dior, who says electrons are not matter at all. He said, I'm a nuclear scientist. My job is to look at matter at its subtlest level, which I've been doing for 55 years. And now I know there is no matter at all. Can you believe that? He has written an article for you lay people. In the Google you go, matter is not made out of matter. Have you seen that? No, see that, ma. Matter is not made out of matter. Which means there is no matter at all. You are looking solid, no? There's nothing. I close my eyes, you're not there. That's called Maya. When I open my eyes and some photons leave you and come and hit my eyes, you become a solid. You are a wave till then, you're all vibrations, we are all vibrations, and the vibration becomes solid. So it's an apparent thing. This is called Wirklichkeit in German. Wirklichkeit means a drama. This whole world is a drama. Did you understand that? Shankara said that years ago, Maya. What a beautiful thing. Same thing. And when Hans-Peter Dior found out that matter and energy are the same, E is equal to M, he wrote an article called Matter is not matter. But he said, this is called a-duality. There's no duality between matter and energy. But he says, who am I? I am just a child in front of the Indian sages who thousands of years ago called this as Advaita. Who is saying that? Hans-Peter Dior is saying that. He can't even speak English properly, but he can speak Sanskrit. And he can quote the Upanishads. He says, Bahirantascha bhutanam. Matter is inside and outside. Energy is inside and outside of everything. Charam acharamevacha. You're looking solid, but there is nothing solid. You are just vibration. But you are looking solid because I am looking at you. And you are vibration, I am vibration. In between there is vibration and you and I are same. And if you know this science, which is not the science that is taught in school, even after 85 years of science having changed, if you know that, I can't hate you. And if I don't hate you, I won't get any illness. You see, this is the basis of health. Illness comes when I hate you because your cells and my cells love your cells and my cells love my cells. And now if I hate you, my cells say, what is wrong with this fellow? I love everyone and this fellow is hating somebody. So after some time, my own cells say, I will hate this fellow's cells only. And that is what we call autoimmune disease. Your own body kills your own body. Who did that? Your mind. Where is the mind? Never mind. Mind is everywhere. Bahirantascha bhutanam. Charam acharamevacha. Sukshmavate tai avidyam. You can't see the mind. Cha durastam. When you don't know, you don't know. Cha aniketacha tat. When you know, it is inside you. And that is the mind that is playing everything. You think in the morning you are fine. You tell yourself, I am fine. You are fine. So what is health? Enthusiasm to work. Enthusiasm to work. All of us work for compulsion. Not that we love our work. If I give you a choice saying that you go to work or don't go to work, I will pay you. 99% of the people don't want to go to work. That is why we get illness. If you don't love your work, don't do that work. but do the work which you love. And that is not possible all the time. That is why the saying, wise people don't work what they get. They make everything they love. So supposing I am working as a clerk, I must love my work, then I am very healthy. When I don't love my work, I am very unhealthy. Look at these boys and girls in the IT industry. Every one of them is not healthy, even at the age of 25, 30. They come with serious diseases. Girls stop menstruating, boys get hypertension, all kinds of things. Because you don't love that work because there's no creativity in it. You just repeat. You say idli panni kuduthirukanga, you repeat more idlis. You do everything idli every day. If you only bake more idlis, you get fed up. One day you must be able to make idli, one day dosa, one day vada, one day something else. You variety, you like it. But every day you make the same idli, look at the computer from morning till evening, you get fed up. So that is where the diseases are all in the mind. And mind is everywhere in your body. The human body is human mind. Every cell has a mind, which I call as membrane. This is not the only brain. There's a brain in my leg also. And the girl who showed that there is a brain outside the brain also is a girl called Candace Pert. This girl was working in NIH, National Institute of Health in America. Her boss found out that she has got something very good, and if she publishes that, she'll get a Nobel Prize. So when she went to a holiday, this fellow stole her data. His name is Saul Snyder. He stole the data and wrote a paper and sent it and almost got the Lashkar Award, short of the Nobel Prize. By that time, this girl came back and found out she was a fighter. So she took her ledger, went to Sweden and told that this is my work, this fellow is stealing it. And the fellow didn't get the Nobel Prize. This girl lost her job. Good that she lost her job because she has written a book for you called Molecules of Emotion. Please read that book, Molecules of Emotion. Molecules of Emotion. And the Amma peru Candace, Candace, Pert, Pert. And the book நீங்க படிச்சீங்கன்னா அதுல அவள் சொல்லுவா, when you get a headache, don't go to the drug cabinet to get a tablet. You sit in a quiet room, meditate, and elevate yourself to that level of consciousness where your own brain is enough painkillers and your pain disappears. See, what a beautiful thing. The latest American scientist who should have got the Nobel Prize rightfully is writing this book. So, human beings can make themselves healthy or unhealthy depending on their own choice. You want to hate the whole world, you will have to be all the time in Venkatraman's clinic taking medicines. You want to love everybody, you don't have to even be friends with Venkatraman. But even if you don't want to have any disease, you must have a doctor as your family friend. He must be a friend, philosopher and guide. He must know all about you, your worries, your anxieties, your problems, everything he should know. Then only he can make a correct diagnosis. Otherwise, he won't be able to make a diagnosis. I tell you, one day I was a young researcher in Harvard. I was sitting there, I was making a diagnosis. A young lady was admitted, old lady was admitted about 3 o'clock in the morning. I had seen her, so there was nothing really wrong with her. But those days we were just starting this echo business, so I was playing with the echo. So I thought her heart muscle was a little thicker. So I thought this lady had a very serious heart disease called cardiomyopathy. So my boss came. He's a Nobel laureate, Bernard Lown, the man who invented that, you give the shock in the after somebody dies, you give a chuk and all. He found it out. It's called Lown's defibrillator. So he came. He's a very nice man. He was about 75 at that time. So he came, sat there, talked to this lady for a long time, half an hour. And then he told me, young man, this lady had a tiff with her husband last night. Nothing is wrong with her. She has no cardiomyopathy. It's all in her mind, he said. And he was right. So, it's all in your mind. Get up in the morning. What's the definition of health? Enthusiasm to work and enthusiasm to be compassionate. Health is not absence of disease. Now, if I scan all of you with the total body scanner, all of us have many diseases, but they don't kill you. Every one of us every day has more than 10 cancers growing in us, but they don't become cancers and kill you. As long as you love others, this cancer dies. When you hate others, this cancer grows. When you eat all kinds of rubbish, the cancer grows. When you eat insensibly, cancer dies. What is cancer? A rogue cell, a cell which has not obeyed its orders to die. Every cell has to die. It has got a day. It is die. If it doesn't die, it becomes a rogue cell. That becomes a cancer. And you feed it. What's two things you feed? One is food, unnecessarily eating too much. All this junk food. And the second is hating everyone in this world. So the simple formula of health is your birthright. There is a doctor who is born with you, and he is the best doctor. He has the best qualification. We all doctors pale into insignificance in front of him because he can cure any disease. Sometimes we make our environment so unhealthy that he gets defeated. I'll tell you how we make our environment unhealthy. What do we need for health? 5 things. A, air. Look at Madras air. It's so unhealthy. So our immune system gets problems. That's why doctors must thank the pollution. Because you get all kinds of diseases, from cancer to common cold, because of pollution. Number 1. Number 2, sun. Sun is the one that is keeping you and me alive here because he gives you more energy than food. But we don't want the sun because the industry says don't go to the sun. Girls will lose their boyfriends don't like their face and you put some cream. This cream is the cause of skin cancer, not the sun. You sit in the sun as much as you can. Look at some of these peanut selling old ladies, 80 years. You break her bone, I'll give you 100 rupees if you break her bone. You don't go to the sun at all and get up and you do this, cut, one bone is gone. Then you go there, they'll do a bone scan and say, oh, you've got osteopenia. What is bone scan? It is the bone that of an 18-year-old Caucasian girl that is referenced there. So if you're 19 years old, you've got 2% less bone. If you're 90 years old, you're 90% less bone. So it's not a disease. We have created a disease called bone scan. You go sit in the sun, your bone will be stronger than your original bone. We don't do that. So sun. Number 2, 3, food. Good food. Good food is what? Nitya, Hita, Mita, Ahara, Sevi. Small amount of food. Before you want 2 more, at least you stop. Supposing you had 2 you're happy, but you could have 2 more, then stop. Half of what you eat keeps you going, the other half keeps the doctor going. So whichever way you want. Mita, then Hita. Whatever you like, you eat. Don't worry whether it's cholesterol or bullshit. Eat. If you like it, eat it, but eat in moderation. Then eat it more number of times so that you don't feel hungry. When you feel hungry, you eat unnecessarily, eat more. Whether you like it or not, you eat more. So you feed yourself every 3 hours. Something, 8:30 breakfast, 10:30 something, 12:30 lunch, 3:30 something, 6:30 dinner, 9:30 something, and then sleep. Nothing will happen. When you eat also, you must be happy. To eat also, you must be happy. And don't exercise after eating, exercise before eating. Then physical exercise, because man is made to be working. But today we think we should be sitting all the time. You are in a seat, then the seat is very comfortable. You are in an air-conditioned room. Air conditioning is also bad. And then you just transfer yourself to an air-conditioned car. Then move on to your office, which is air-conditioned. There also you press a bell for even calling everybody. You don't even get up from bed. Sitting in a chair for a long time reduces a lifespan by 5 years. Sitting is the most risky, most dangerous occupation. Now in America, what they do is in IT industry, they make them stand and work. And even standing is not static standing. There's a slow moving belt instead of the floor. So the belt is moving. So if you stand still, you will fall down. So you have to keep doing that. It's very good for health. Then 4th thing is our environment. What kind of environment we got now? See now here, this mobile, what is that called? Microphone. It is emitting so much of dangerous into my body and into your body. And then your cell phone, another very dangerous thing. Your cordless phone at home. You have your idli warming thing, what's it called? Microwave oven. You have your electric blanket, electric hair dryer, electric clock, television. All these emit very bad energy. This is called dirty electricity. This is 40 to 70 hertz electricity, which is killing mankind. Cancer is one of the very important causes of cancer is this dirty electricity. But this beautiful earth that we were born with, we don't touch the earth now. Shoes, rubber shoes. Our ancestors used to have leather or dry leather chappal, at least it conduct conduct some electricity. We don't touch and you are in the 19th floor, 20th floor. You don't touch with ground at all. Ground is your other. Ground is where you have to root yourself. And to do that, if you are in Chennai city, I have a solution for you. You can go to the beach, wet sand, throw off your shoes and walk in the wet sand for about half an hour. If you can't do that, if you have some grass near your house, water it in the morning, the lawn or whatever, and then walk barefoot. If you can walk barefoot all the time, you will never die. Very good for you. And look at our farmers, they not only walk barefoot on wet ground in the fields, they don't get anyone. You just have all these aches and pains for which you go and take homeopathic medicine. Don't do that. Walk barefoot, the aches and pains disappear. Even if you are 90 years, you don't have any aches and pains at all. So 5 things for health. The 5th element is most important because of our civilization. We have become so civilized and so advanced and so scientific that we want to do everything wrong. So don't do all these things. I can't now ask you to go back to the Stone Age. So what I am now trying to do is I am devising a good energy jacket. A jacket which emanates 0 to 30 hertz that the earth gives you otherwise. So I am devising this for IT boys and girls because I feel so sorry for them looking at them. I don't think I should be treating a girl at 20 years for menstrual irregularity and then she gets polycystic PCOD and then she can't get married and if she gets married also she will get a child. I feel so sorry. I sometimes cry. Now I am devising this. I have devised it already and I want to give it to all these companies saying that give them as like a uniform. Just put on a jacket and that generates that 30. Instead of this giving a 70 hertz killing them, the 70 hertz comes from the computer. This 30 hertz protects that. It's like when you go to the X-ray room, you put on a lead jacket. I'm preparing a jacket like that because I can't be telling them you do leave your job and go because nobody bothers. One girl is so bad. She's about 25. I told her you leave your job. No, sir. I'm the project manager. I'm getting a lakh of rupees. See, lakh of rupees. I said your life, future life. She's not bothered about that. She wants a lakh of rupees. Her mother comes to my house every day and cries. Do something for her. Your daughter can be very easily treated if she leaves that job. Oh no, that she can't do. So at least now we have to have a via media. So these are the 5 things for health. Water, drinking water. Many of us don't drink water at all. We drink very good water in the tin, which is poison, 100% poison, which contains so many bad things. And I saw the other day in Chennai, I saw a boy who came all the way from Singapore to see me. He is actually a Ranji Trophy player in Calcutta. You can imagine how healthy he should have been. And now he joined his IT company. He's a big man in the IT company in Singapore. He's 95 kilos now, 95 kilos. A Ranji Trophy player 5 years ago is 95 kilos now. And he has got very high blood pressure, 8 blood pressure lowering drugs, nothing has happened. He's a diabetic. He can't walk. He gets breathless. So I asked him. He said, nobody has talked to me. They only do the report. I have got all the reports from Singapore. See that? I said, I don't want to see the report because I'm not treating the report. I'm treating you. Then I told him, how much do you sleep a day? Sleeping? Where's the time for sleeping? I don't need sleep, doctor. I get about an hour and a half and 2 hours a day between somewhere if I get time. Can you believe that? Now that's the first thing. Second thing is what do you eat? Do you get? Well, no, I don't take a breakfast. I run there and I bite something there. This what is it? Hot dog or a cold dog or something. And then I on an average I take about 20 tins of Diet Coke. I don't want to put on weight. Diet Coke, still worse. Coke is all right. Diet Coke is really dangerous. This is the boy. And sitting all the time looking at the computer. Now I told him, young man, I can't do anything for you unless you leave your job. This boy was very sensible. He said, I'll go back, resign my job and come. I said, I'll treat you. Not with these tablets. I'll treat you. But first you leave your job. You do anything. The world is very wide. Why do you want to all the job and get all the, all this and die prematurely? If supposing destined to die prematurely, nobody can help it. But why do you want to kill yourself? This is the problem. So these 5 things, remember? What are they? Air, sun, water, food, earth. The 5th element of health is earth. Very importantly. And you can't touch the earth, then of course, nobody can help you. So where treatment is very simple, no doctor is needed. Go out in the sun. There are so many old ladies whom I saw in Chennai. I tell them, you take her out, put out there, she'll be all right, and most of them are all right. And then walk on the. Nobody wants to walk barefoot. They say something will bite you. You know, in my hotel, I walk barefoot. Everybody is looking at me. Even the watchman is looking at me. Sir, cherpilliye. Cherp வேண்டான்னு விட்டுறோம். இல்ல சார் வேண்டாம், இது டெம்பரரி, நம்ம செருப்பு எடுத்துக்கோங்க சார். He thinks I have forgotten my செருப்பு, so he's giving, he's offering his செருப்பு because I treated him sometimes, you know. So he says, நம்ம செருப்பு எடுத்துக்கோங்க சார். And that's the reason why I stay in that hotel, because there is a big lawn and I made arrangements for it to be watered in the morning, so I can nicely walk there. You know, so please do all this for help. Now last. Science, science I told you, the science is a golem. Now last, heart. Have a heart, you will have a healthy heart. As simple as that. Have a heart, you will have a healthy heart. And don't all the time think about the heart. Even a child has got coronary artery blocks. If you have artery blocks, only you live. If you don't have artery blocks, you die very early. So we now use that to buckrify you. Because what the blocks that we see in the X-ray is totally different from the block that kills you. To do that, I saw that white board. Can I just write a picture in that? Can somebody get it here? Do you have a pen there in that? Irika? இல்லையா? இதை சேர்ல வைக்க. ஓ, அங்கே அப்படியே இருக்கா? ஓ, இங்க வச்சிருக்கு.